Oh, um, stop goofing around, man. We're live. Hey,
Hey,
everybody,
we're
and
supposed to be
welcome.
professionals, man.
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Howdy, howdy, howdy. So, David, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, yo, what's up, man?
Good, 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 good. Not much, not much, not much. Just checking out what's the latest from the wonderful commentator Candace Owens regarding these topics. I was just actually preparing this topic to speak about or to listen to Tulsi Gabbard and her insights about Islam or radical Islam, as she mistakenly calls it. But then I saw that Candace Owens chimes in on Islam and says, "No, Islam is not a problem. Islam is the best thing ever."
She's got a point. I hadn't thought about it like that before, but smart.
In fact, let me just quickly change the thumbnail here, and include Candace Owens here into the topic. Might as well just check out her response to everything, because that's the best thing. Because what we want to do in this live is to always look at what Candace Owens has to say about things.
Good point.
That's what life is about.
Powerful point.
Looking at Candace Owens. So, David, have you heard of this woman called Tulsi Gabbard?
Yep, she got that streak through her hair like Rogue from the X-Men.
Beast. That's why she's so special, apparently. So, hi everybody. What's up? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Islam is evil, said Bono Jab. What is this? What is with
Whoa.
this stuff, man? What is this?
Has this person not been following Candace Owens? Or Tucker?
Loki Jokers. What the hell is happening here? Hang on.
Oh my goodness. You do one thing in life, AP. You go live, and you can't even get that right.
What a fantastic start to a show.
It is. This is like start to the best show ever. Welcome. Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. Hope you're having a fantastic day. He was just messing with stuff beforehand. I said, do not mess with this stuff during a live stream, man. He's like, no, it's too late. I might have to do it. And you see the results. You see the results. Well, I would apologize, but I regret nothing. Apologize for nothing. This entire show is ruined, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Well, this is weird. AP's normally, he normally doesn't show up till about now, but he went ahead and showed up early, but then he forgot how to live stream. So I guess the trade-off is if he shows up super late, at least he remembers how to live stream. But here we are. Let's take some super chats. AT Ministry says, long time no see, David Lowell. Yeah, AT was on earlier. Well, I was live with Giant DOC like a little over an hour ago. Here we have Nordine, who insists that we must remain obsessed with demons all day, every day. Nordine says, arguing with people who believe in Yajuj and Majuj using arguments and evidence. Yeah, that's going to work. If a person believes in Yajuj and Majuj, he needs a renewal of his mind, not arguments. Pray. Yeah, I would take that advice if we didn't have this entire avalanche of apostasy going on, because what happens when Muslims find out the information that we share. So we can listen to you, Nordine, or all of reality. I'll stick with reality. Islam is the bigger threat once rooted. Leftism is the thing that flooded the West with Islam, and it erodes institutions faster. So leftism worse. You may be right, but it does seem like they are kind of 1-2 punch. Let's see. Reaction to Minnesota Lieutenant Governor donning hijab. Somalis are number one. Hey, How come you always ask us about stuff that we're not even familiar with? Huh? Huh? And then we have to derail the show and figure out what you're talking about. But I am interested in seeing this. Let's see. Minnesota Lieutenant Governor hijab. Oh, yeah, very powerful. Huh, what is this? What do we got here? Minnesota Lieutenant Governor dons hijab in visit to Somali market as fraud scandal unfolds. Got to show respect to people who pull off that level of fraud. What is this? What's your name? Minnesota Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan wears hijab in solidarity with Somalis as feds probe multi-billion-dollar fraud scandal. Gotta show your solidarity. Always. That's the most important thing in life, guys. Solidarity. What do we got? Please send set up, give send go for AP new computer setup. That's not, whatever the problem is, that's not the problem. AP has a totally tricked out computer. So you can't blame the computer. People saying get AP a new computer set up. I happen to know you have a tricked out computer. So whatever is the problem, that ain't it. It's usually him not knowing how to do anything because he's Turkish.
Sometime this year, I bought a like an $8,000 computer. So there's literally no excuse with the computer. There was something wrong with the camera. I don't know. I had to turn it off and turn it back on. I had to turn the computer off and on and all that. So anyway,
you all heard it here. Hang on. I'm almost through all the super chats.
Just you know what's funny? So we plan a live stream, right? We plan a live stream. There is no problem at all. No problem because it is about Tulsi Gabbard, right? Nothing happens. I mentioned Candace Owens and say that we might also talk about Candace Owens. Suddenly, there is a technical problem.
Coincidence?
I mean, it's simply common sense that Candace Owens has something to do with this.
Yeah, you could say coincidence, but if we're just going to start calling everything coincidence, how do you describe the assassination of JFK? Okay?
Exactly.
Okay? There are conspiracies at work. And just as soon as someone mentions Candace Owens, the entire stream comes crashing to the ground. Coincidence? Yeah. Little common sense.
In fact, I can prove to you that Candace Owens actually possibly has something to do with this. So let's simply have a look at Candace Owens. As you can see here, real Candace O has blocked you.
Very rude.
So Candace Owens clearly has something against me and hates me and has blocked me. To be fair, I also blocked her. But that doesn't matter. Maybe because I blocked her after she blocked me, she now has a grudge against me, which is why she attempted to take down this live stream.
And possibly to assassinate you for exposing her and her husband for not being what they claim to be.
Yeah, so we have established already during yesterday's live stream, was it yesterday? Yeah, that Candace Owens is a man and that her husband is actually a woman, which is why he doesn't have a penis.
And it's how they were actually able to produce offspring. He had the babies that she put in him.
She impregnated him, which is how they got their babies, which explains anything. And if you, are we not supposed to ask questions? We may ask questions.
Have they proven otherwise? Have they? Where are they? There's just complete silence from Candace O.
Yeah.
Weird. It would be so easy for them to refute.
So I was earlier looking at the Tulsi Gabbard speech and all that. Then I saw that Candace Owens yesterday, as we were live, actually right before we went live to talk about her, she made a post about Islam, which actually kind of shows and very clearly proves that she was watching and that she was preparing preparing to watch our live stream, where she saw that we are going to talk about Islam and about Candace, which is why she then made a post in which she said, no matter how hard the GOP tries to make radical Islam happen, the base doesn't care about it. We are way more concerned about Israel. You can deny reality and scream about Tucker, but the party can no longer be governed by those who refuse to acknowledge the Zionist elephant in the room. You know what's very funny about what's very funny about this is that America Fest, Turning Point USA, actually did a survey of people who attended the event, in which they asked them what their main concerns are and what the greatest threats to the United States are. David, which issue did the conservatives who attended America Fest say is the greatest threat to America?
I'll go with, what is Islam for
You
1,000,
are
Alex?
correct. Correct. You are a winner. So, the conservative base, which is based, actually agrees that Islam is the biggest issue. And here she is like, the base, the voter base doesn't care about Islam. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah, Candace really seems to think, I mean, she does appear to live in a bubble. It's her and her fans, and she thinks that her and her fans like represent the world,
Yeah.
or at least conservatives or something like that. And it's like, okay, we actually have the data, and it doesn't point to what you're saying.
So here is Andrew Colvett, who is the co-producer of the Charlie Kirk Show and was also very close with Charlie. We asked if attendees would be in favor of... Oh, no, wait. We also polled attendees' views on Israel. And then here, asked about the top threats facing America, respondents ranked the top issues, the top 6 issues as 1, radical Islam. So people who attend conservative events like America Fest agree that radical Islam, by which we can just say Islam, is the number 1 threat to the United States of America. According to Candace Owens, however, conservatives do not care about this topic.
Well, what if Candace is right, and it's just the Jews who make you think that's what the poll says?
That's a good point. In fact, the same poll also asked the question of Israel, in which of all the America Fest attendees, 33.3% said Israel is our top ally, whereas 53.4% say Israel is one ally of many of the United States, and only 13.3% said Israel is not an ally. Whenever there is a speech at America Fest, you can see that the pro-Israel opinion during this America Fest, contrary to what people actually expected, seems to have much of the support of the audience, whereas the anti-Israel stance doesn't very much. So she is trying to push this propaganda, which actually falls apart when you go into the real world, that everything people care about is just anti-Israel and nobody cares about Islam. In fact, people do care about Islam more than anything else as a threat to America. And people also don't have this huge concern about Israel. You have that online with your Pakistani base, and with gropers and all that, but you don't have that in real life with voters among Republicans. There is a follow-up post here, which I'm not sure why I can't see right here on the screen, but let me view her posts. She further said after the first one, I'm just trying to spare you guys the inevitable $1 billion ISIS is coming digital campaign wherein a bunch of online influencers will suddenly pretend they are deeply concerned about the threat of radical Islam.
Yeah, we'd have to pretend. Yeah, because it's not like we've been pointing this stuff out for a while now. It's also interesting. Gosh, it's like so deceptive. She just said that there was $1 billion campaign to smear her and cover up what happened to Charlie Kirk. Candace, gosh, she's stupid. Candace, let me break this down for you. Real simple like. There would be no need for a $1 billion campaign to cover up what happened to Charlie Kirk. You can get one of the world's best assassins for way, way cheaper. They could do the job quite easily, and you would never have any clue who did it, and you could blame whoever you wanted, and there wouldn't be this. You wouldn't need this big cover up. You wouldn't need it. You don't need, we've got Israel and Egypt and France and the U.S. government and Turning Point itself and everyone working together, and oops, they botched it and they left clues for Candace to figure out, and now we've got this $1 billion cover up. If you were putting this much money into something, there are way, 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 way cheaper ways of going about things. So.
And I can say
Gosh,
that,
she's done it. And now you have $1 billion campaign coming to make people worried about ISIS.
hiring an assassin is much cheaper than people actually think. So, you know, I speak from experience. So, and I have to eat somehow. So, this is what Kenneth Owens says. Kenneth Owens says nobody cares about radical Islam. Radical Islam is not a big problem. People just want to make it look like they care about radical Islam. This is kind of funny. Here is Kenneth Owens from a few years ago with Dr. Gad Sayed.
Possibility for
Wait,
Islam.
isn't he a Jew?
Yeah.
Well, Candace Owens, hang on. Because as far as Candace fans are concerned, if you're maintaining some position and you've been around a lot of Jews in the past, they're going to say the Jews put you up to this, whatever you're doing. Candace spent a lot of time with Jews in the past, didn't she? Talking Gad Said, talking Dennis Prager, talking Ben Shapiro, all these. She's just like in the middle of a sea of Jews, like Muhammad on the night of Al-Zut. And yet, all of a sudden, Jews bad, but all her arguments are completely deranged and insane. And the same insane, deranged brain says, hey, don't worry about Islam. Come on. You quit making it so obvious, Candace. I mean, seriously.
Insane in the membrane.
Candace Owens is not only a man, she is a Mossad agent who is being paid endless chunks of money to make critics of Israel and supporters of Islam look as dumb as humanly possible.
That's true. Let's see what she said.
Exist in the West. Do you think that's feasible? I'm not talking about individual Muslims who are lovely and peaceful and all of the rest of the preface stuff that we have to say before we talk about this. But what are your views on Islam?
How's it going in the UK? Those are my views. Okay, you can't. They have different views than us. Their views are that Western civilization is corrupted and awful, and it doesn't follow their code of ethics. It doesn't work. You cannot say that you can coexist peacefully. What's happening in the UK is the greatest example. What's happening in Europe? There's a European crisis going on right now. They have different ideas of what freedom is. Their idea of freedom is not freedom whatsoever. And you brought up Ayaan Hirsi, and I've followed her closely, and what she says is so important. She is someone that has defected from it and is telling you exactly what goes on. It's amazing to me that people think that somehow if you bring people that actually hate Western civilization to Western civilization, what they're just going to warm up to it and say, we'll coexist peacefully, even though everything you do sickens us.
Well, they will coexist peacefully until the demographic changes are enough that they know until Islam.
Weird. So if Candace thinks that the only reason someone would conclude that is by being paid, that an influencer has to be paid to think like that, then was she getting paid back then, or is she getting paid now to say the opposite? Obviously, she's getting paid.
And that's a good point. And here is a very, very simple fact, a very simple conclusion here. Candace Owens acts as if and says that if people have this contrary view about Islam and Muslims and immigration in the West and all that, they must be paid agents to say these things. Today, she is one of those people who have those contrary views, contrary to whatever she held several years ago, which means that she is paid by her own logic to hold
Definitely getting paid.
Candace Owens exposed as an agent of Islam and Muslims and the destruction of Western civilization. It's quite clear to me, isn't it? It's quite clear to me. In fact, I posted earlier about the contrast between Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. Look at this. Here you have Candace Owens, who, by the way, thinks she's the one steering the public opinion. I think Charlie Kirk had like 60,000 likes or something on this comment. She has 20,000. So, well, I'm just trying to spare you guys the inevitable $1 billion ISIS is coming digital campaign wherein a bunch of online influencers will suddenly pretend they are deeply concerned about the threat of radical Islam. Our concerns about the Middle East begin with the Israeli blah, 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 blah. Here's Charlie Kirk a week before his death. You hear a lot of pundits fearmonger about the rise of Christian nationalism, when right in front of their eyes, Islam is taking over public places and gaining political power. Islam is a fundamentally political ideology that aims to conquer us militarily or demographically. So, according to Kenneth Owens, was Charlie somebody who was just part of a $1 billion campaign that was being pushed, which is why he was saying these things? Is she directly slandering Charlie Kirk here?
AP.
Yes.
I keep saying it because you have all these golden opportunities to make these very, very easy videos where you just say, you title it something like Candace Owens accuses Charlie Kirk of being paid to hate Islam. And you quote her and you quote Charlie and you say a couple words and boom, video done. Hour.
Nice. Furthermore, Charlie Kirk made quite interesting posts about Islam in the not-so-distant past. Let us look at those posts as we speak right now. Let's see. Charlie Kirk. Let's look at his posts that he made about Islam. La 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 la. Okay, so Islam is this is 1 day before his death, 1 day before his murder. Charlie Kirk posted the following: Islam is the sword the left is using to slit the throat of America. This is Charlie Kirk 1 day before his murder. Islam is the sword the left is using to slit the throat of America. According to Candace Owens, this is complete nonsense, and he was probably being paid by a $1 billion industry to fearmonger about Islam, right? You hear a lot of, okay, I read this already. Islam has conquered Britain. We cannot allow for the same in America. Another post: mass import Islam, destroy America. It's that simple. Feminism and Islam working together to strangle the West. Islam is taking over the West. We must stand united against the growth of Islam. Here he was quote tweeting Nigel Farage. Very, very nice. Oh, and then here's a post about me. This is very funny. Here's Charlie Kirk promoting. Hey, you know what? When was the last time Charlie Kirk promoted Candace Owens?
How about
probably many
in
years
her
ago.
dream?
Many years ago.
No, in her dream was the most recent time.
When was the last time Charlie Kirk promoted me?
Charlie said, "You're the only one, Candace. You're the only one who can reveal the truth."
2 months before, less than 2 months before his killing. So that means that Charlie Kirk cared more about me than Candace Owens. That means that I am more important in relation to Charlie Kirk than Candace Owens. So therefore, Candace Owens now, according to the public perception and according to her own logic, should shut up about Charlie Kirk. And I have the authority to speak about Charlie Kirk, not her. That's how it works. That's her logic. It's her thinking. She is such a fraud, man. Such an absolute fraud. If anybody is being paid to promote anything here, I think that it is quite clear that she's the one who's being paid by certain pro-Islam sources to promote Islam and to promote anti-Israel stuff and anti-Semitic stuff in the West, and to defend Islam, to distract from the problem of Islam. That is what she is. She's working with and for the enemy of America and of the West, and of Christians and of Christianity, by the way. She's promoting and defending a religion which openly declares that Christianity is evil and false and that Christians are the enemy to be fought by Muslims. That's what she's promoting, because she's evil. Anyway, John West 545 says Wood's second law: a conspiracy theory's probability is inversely proportional to the number of conspirators needed to be involved. How is this Wood's law when there is no Zut involved here?
It's a good point, though.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? What's up, Goldie? Goldie Gamari. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Goldie also has her own channel where she just started publishing videos and streaming. Would always recommend going and checking it out. Where she's doing good work. Just doing good work. Right here, as you can see, I am subscribed because I'm cool. Not everyone is as cool as me. So GV9791, Islam is the truth and Candace Owens is its prophet. Candace had a dream. Kemal Oz says Megyn Kelly is now on a jihad against Barry Weiss, which is very funny because she loved Barry Weiss and was wishing her all the best and all the success just a few months ago. But once Barry Weiss spoke about her, she was like, "No, she's a horrible person." It's kind of funny how that works. Joe Moses, Texas Representative candidate Valentina Gomez rips off hijab and badmouths Muslims from the podium they set up for her. Powerful. Wonderful. Good move. Nordine, can you promise me you'll pray about it? Yes. Not sure what you mean, but yes.
Not from you, Nordine. Nordine is insisting that we have to just talk about Yajuj and Majuj and be obsessed with talking about demons all day.
Yajuj, Majuj. Recycle Bin AI says Christ's lordship is proof Zionists rule the world. This is true. Plato Spietato says, why so many anti-Islam Christian apologists are so pro-Russian? Raymond, Andrew Wilson, Jay Dyer, etc. Russia pushes Islam to the West. Why support it? Are they pro-Russia? I don't know. I mean, I know that Jay Dyer is probably has very pro-Russia sentiments. I'm not very sure about Andrew Wilson or Raymond. Are you talking about Raymond Ibrahim?
Seems like lots of Orthodox people look to Russia as the greatest place in the world.
Which is very, very dumb, considering that Russia is one of the greatest cancers of our time, especially with Putin's evil, expansionist, oppressive, chauvinist government that we have. If there's I would say that of the top great threats and dangers to the West and to the free world and to the rest of the world, after Islam, Putin is definitely somewhere in the top 5 or the top 3, maybe. Putin's Russia. And to be honest, let's just be very, very honest. I don't care what anyone says about this, okay? What anyone says in response to what I'm going to say. But much of the there is some Orthodox support, especially among the pro-Russia Orthodox crowds. It is very, very unfortunate that currently the much of the Russian Orthodox Church in Russia is, objectively speaking, right, being used as a puppet by the Russian Putin government. And the Putin government is an evil one. That is an oppressive one. That is an imperialist, an irredentist one that simply believes in expanding their power and making all those former Soviet republics bend their knee to great Putin and great Russia. It's a great, great evil. Unfortunately, there are some people who actually support that kind of stuff. And those people should not ever be speaking about justice or freedom or honor or Christianity or goodness or morals and whatever it is. It is a whole other imperialist worldview that is a giant cult which completely ignores facts wherever they face them. Russia is unfortunately bound by this great evil of Russian imperialism, which Russia has always been bound by for 500 years now. When when they fought with the Turks, with the Ottomans, what the first thing they wanted to do was to take Constantinople and not give it to the Greeks, but rather to take it for themselves, to become the new Roman Empire and make all the other Christians bow to them, basically. When Constantinople was taken over by the Ottomans, the concern of the Russians was not to come in and help. Their concern was, oh, good, now we are the new Rome. Now we are the new leaders of Christianity. Now we are the new leaders of the Orthodox Church. Their concern has always been to just run over and enslave and subjugate other populations, because all is for Mother Russia, because Mother Russia is the best thing there is. It is a horrible culture that, I mean, I would be very, very happy if Russia was divided into multiple different countries in a Balkanization style. But anyway, enough about the hate against Russia. So, Forever made a super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I can't really see it, but I appreciate it anyway. Cars in Dimension says a clinical term for Owens, Jews on the brain. That's true. Very, very much. Potato Sandwich. I wonder what Candace thinks about Coptic Christians. I wonder about that too. She doesn't seem to care very much about Christians who are afflicted by oppression under Muslims. She really doesn't care about that kind of stuff. Despite the fact that statistically seen, Christians face the greatest oppression in the world of all religious groups, and by far the greatest contributor to the oppression of Christians is Islam. Big surprise. So I cannot possibly understand how anyone would claim to be doing things for Christians and Christianity and then would defend Islam and Muslims. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. What do you think about this, David? Thank you.
I'm thinking, even though I served up a perfect, easy video for you, you're obviously not going to make it. And so I was thinking I should make a video tomorrow, Candace Owens versus Charlie Kirk on Islam. And it would be the easiest video I've ever made in my entire life. That's what I was thinking.
Beast. Boost. Putin and his Napoleon complex, says Diony. Very, very much so. Very, very much so.
Hey, or Candace Owens versus Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens on Islam, because she's been on both sides. That's funny. I think I'll just toss that in as a bonus. I'll have it Candace versus Charlie, and then turns out Charlie can call in backup, and it's Candace Owens from a couple years ago.
Nice. Hamster with a head says your tone is creepy. Oh yeah, you think that's creepy? You think my tone is creepy, man?
Dude, everything you say is creepy.
You really think that tone is creepy? You want me to show you what creepy? When Russia comes up, I get a little bit worked up. I don't know.
No, it has nothing to do with the Russia video. I'm just saying, you always sound like a creepy psychologist who's also a serial killer. Hi, everyone. Welcome.
But
I want to.
That is what I am. How am I supposed to change that?
Well, quit being so freaking Turkish.
Okay. Yes. Imagine Candace in a hijab.
Otterman.
You don't have to imagine
whatever an otter can.
Candace in a hijab is literally on the thumbnail. You don't have to imagine it. Young Acoustic Great, the mighty Otterman is here. Oh, hi, David.
Otterman.
So, David, do you know about the history of the Ottoman?
Yep, I've heard you share that many times from your great knowledge of the history of your people.
So, many people might not know this, but a long, long time ago, there were these things around.
Long time ago.
There were these things around called the Ottoman.
There were these things called Ottoman.
Long time ago, there were the Ottoman around. So people usually do not know this because this history has very much been suppressed. But until 100 years ago, the Ottoman were invading the world, and people were very, very scared of them because of their shape and form and their size. So the Ottoman would go around and conquer left and right in the name of Islam, trying to amplify Islam and scare people with their huge nature and their huge, stature.
Notice, much like the men of Al-Zut, you can't see their peepees.
Yes. So the thing is, nowadays they have very much disappeared. Although some would say that they might want you, they just want you to think that they have disappeared. Actually, many of the Turks nowadays are half otter and half man. And I can't say that that is the case for me, but with many of the Turks, it is the case that they have some otter and some man background that is very much grounded in history. And this is one of those photos, for example, that captures that. So anyway, David, do you want to jump into the speech by Tulsi Gabbard?
Mm-hmm.
Chaotic Symphony says Raymond Ibrahim respects that Russia is standing for Russia and not giving it in like the West, and I stated that multiple times. I mean, I would also respect a country standing for its own values. Unfortunately, if that country also does it while oppressing others, that's a little bit messed up, you know. But I don't know what Raymond Ibrahim said or thinks, so I can't comment on that, you know. Camelos, disgraced ex-congressman Matt Gaetz blamed Israel for coverage of his many controversies on Tuk Tuk Show. Megyn Kelly called Ben Shapiro Israel first and is now trashing him. Mark Levin and the aforementioned Wise. Coincidence? No, it's all a campaign against the Jews funded by Qatar with $1 billion campaign. So there you go. All right, David, are you ready for Tulsi Gabbard? Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Aloha! I am proud to stand here before you today. We're not going anywhere. We're here to fight for you and to fight for the red, white, and blue that's behind you. We can't do this alone. It will take all of us who love our country and who deeply cherish our freedoms to stand united in this fight.
This is all very cool, but I'm going to fast forward to the speech.
It's not the speech, dude.
What did you say? It's not a speech?
I said it's not the speech yet.
This here is literally the speech. What do you think, that she's going to give a concert? She's going to give like a Hawaiian dance concert and stuff? Why are you being racist?
Merry Christmas.
You think all that Hawaiians can do is just to put on like Hawaiian dances and sing songs?
I'm just saying she's starting out with Merry Christmas, and Hawaiians should keep their mouths shut about Christmas.
Why? Because they're Hawaiians?
Because it don't snow there.
That's true.
Christmas. I couldn't hear you in the back. Merry Christmas.
Louder! I can't hear you!
You know, I'm a little bit emotional walking out here because this is the first time we are gathered here for AmFest without Charlie Kirk. But I feel in all of your voices and your presence here his love. And
you never even saw Gremlins 2. What are you laughing at?
I did, man.
You did?
I was a little child when I saw it.
Me too. I remember. Yeah, I saw it when I was a kid too. And I just remember him when he was given like the TV interview. And he's going, now what do we want? Civilization. And then he shoots another gremlin. He goes, there. Now, was that civilized? No. He was cracking me up, man.
You know, at all the different TPUSA events that I have been.
Look at this. Hutch Boogie says it absolutely snows in Hawaii in the mountains.
Mountains don't count.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
And
you want to tell me that it actually snows in Hawaii? It doesn't. Prove it.
And no one's up on those stupid mountains anyway. Oh, let me guess. You have Eskimos who live up there too, right? Yeah, sure.
It's literally an island in the middle of nowhere. Why would it snow there?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't.
And you really think Santa goes there? All the way out in the middle of nowhere to catch a couple people on some crap island?
He's not going there. He's not flying there.
Now, if you said he would take a vacation there or something like that, yeah, maybe, but he ain't delivering no presents.
He doesn't take vacations, man. He prepares from the first day after Christmas for the next Christmas.
And two over the years, you know, Charlie was often the one who would, greet me at the door. We would go and kind of huddle in a corner backstage and start talking about, oh, hey, what's going on? What are you working on? What are you working on? And how do we tackle the biggest challenges that we face in this country, with Charlie always incredibly focused and full of energy, and not just looking around, okay, what's the next thing, but here's the 5, 10, 15, and 20-year plan that we really have to keep at the forefront of all that we're doing. And so, I didn't get to have that conversation with Charlie here. I had a conversation with Erica backstage, and I got to tell you, I continue to be in awe of this woman.
Candace Owens?
I cannot imagine what she's been through, what she is going through. I'm in awe of and grateful for her kindness and her strength, and how she has opened up her heart during the toughest of times to the world, and how she continues to
Candace Owens probably watching this like, oh, and look, now there's someone from the government, the director of national intelligence, coming and praising Candace Owens. I mean, it's just very obvious that they all are together in this plot.
And so Tulsi, watch Tulsi
Okay.
Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard a week from now is going to suddenly have all this evidence against her on Candace's live stream.
Yeah.
exhibit the kind of courage and strength that you and I know can only come from God. We hear a lot of talk about unity. It's a word that is frequently used. We must stand united. We must come together and unify. But too often, we don't act.
I have a little question that I think might be a little bit irrelevant. But when she says God, I'm pretty sure that Tulsi Gabbard is not a Christian, right?
Yeah, what is she? Buddhist, Mormon, what?
I think she was brought up in a Hindu thing, in a Hindu sect or something.
Don't
like that.
worry, I'm on the job. You can let her speak. I'll do the investigations here.
Okay.
Actually think about what that means. To say we have to unite just for the sake of unity, what does it mean? We can unite around the wrong things. We can unite around a negative cause that results in a negative impact. And so when we talk about standing united as Americans, we have to understand what that really means. What is it that binds us together? What are the fundamental principles that we must stand together on, whether we are Democrats or Republicans or people of different religions, people of different backgrounds or different views on certain policies? Fundamentally, the thing that we must unite on is our God-given freedoms that are enshrined in our Constitution, and that every one of us as Americans must remain committed and dedicated to defending. Woo-hoo!
David, what is the update?
I'm looking here. Gabbard lived in Hawaii for most of her early childhood and has been a lifelong surfer.
So that's her religion. There you go.
And she's covering that up. She's not like bodacious and stuff. So she's covering up her surfer nature. A yoga enthusiast. She regularly practices morning yoga and meditation. Meditation on the scriptures or emptying your mind? She has talked about being a vegetarian. That's 3 strikes right there. Vegetarian too? Although some sources have reported her as being vegan. So all she eats breakfast, lunch, and dinner is wheatgrass.
David, just tell us what religion she is. Man.
I'm just saying, I'm finding out all this breaking news, and you're playing this chick. So all she eats: wheatgrass stew, wheatgrass salad, wheatgrass kebabs. My goodness. According to Gabbard, she grew up with Hindu values. She follows the Vaishnava tradition of Hindu faith.
Vishnava.
No, it's Vaishnava.
Huh? Is it? Okay, fine, whatever.
Tradition of the Hindu faith and values as her spiritual guide, the Bhagavad Gita. She has said that she is a karma yogi, action-entered yogi. Hey, boo-boo. She took the oath of office in 2013 with her personal copy of the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. And we're supposed to listen to her tell us about God here?
Yes. Yes. Why not? Do you have a problem with Hindus?
In 2016, she supported the campaign by Hindu Americans for a Diwali commemorative stamp in the United States, noting that the Diwali festival honors values such as righteousness that transcend different religions and backgrounds. Diwali, that's the festival of... Whoa! Diwali is the Hindu festival of lights.
Of lights. Yeah.
Is there another religion that has a festival of lights? Oh, yeah, it's Jews.
Hey, wait,
It's called Hanukkah.
Pause. Look at the screen. What do you see?
Lights.
Look at the light.
What?
Look at the shape of those lights. Dude, look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the Star of David.
Star of David, and they camouflaged it, and they've got the Star of David, the Festival of Lights, right during Hanukkah, mind you, and you're busted.
Look,
we
they
just
deliberately.
we just put all this together for Candace. We just put it all together for Candace. Candace, we wrote your hit piece for you. We wrote your hit piece for you. You can do an entire hour-long live stream on it and expose her for being part of the cover-up.
They put the Star of David right here on the screen so we don't find out.
Mm-hmm. And how many of them do you see?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stars with
The
6.
same number as the points on the Star of David?
Woo, hoo, hoo,
Oh, winky dink.
woo,
All right.
hoo, hoo.
Hindus are being paid by Jews.
They put it right there in front of us to hide it from us so that we don't figure it out.
But
This is
we
so
figured it
stupid.
out because we've been talking about Candace Owens, and now we're in full Candace mode. We see all this stuff now. We see it.
Yes.
Can't trick us.
And
With your,
6.
with your yoga and your wheatgrass.
And look at this. 666 666.
And so we can agree that the biggest threat to America is meat, eating meat. And that's why I'm launching the campaign that all school kids will be fed nothing but wheatgrass with wheatgrass sauce and wheatgrass milk.
And what is 6 times 6, David? It's 36.
Mhm.
3 and 6. Now combine 3 and 6. 3 plus 6 is 9.
That's the age of Aisha.
That's the age of Aisha when she was raped by Muhammad. So
Mhm.
what are they trying to tell us?
That we should all practice yoga while banging wheatgrass.
Yes.
I don't know. You got to figure it out. I mean, we've got all the pieces. We just got to figure out how they all go together.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
That's where we need Candace.
Yes.
She's the
That
best.
is our foundation. When we talk about America, we can look at borders, we can look at land, we can look at territories, but when we truly look at what does it mean to be an American and the responsibility that every single one of us as Americans carries with us,
Weapons.
it is centered on our foundational principles, on that vision that our founders had for us.
I get a little bit zealous when somebody says what we as Americans carry on us. I immediately think of guns.
I mean, it's
I'll take my
obvious.
guns away.
Yep, that's Second Amendment. What did she start? She started talking about our rights.
Yeah.
Our rights that we have
I'll
enshrined
take my guns away
in the
man.
Constitution. And then she says, and what we're packing here.
In the good sense.
Yep. Not in the Warner sense.
Knowing way back then how challenging it would be and how there would be frequent and consistent attacks on our freedom, and it would be up to us to defend them. And that's exactly where we are today. Charlie understood these threats. He saw them and focused completely on this defense of freedom, not just in words, but in action. He lived that truth that so many of us who either worn the uniform or wear the uniform live by. I may disagree with what you say, but I will defend it to the death your right to say it.
Did you hear that? I may disagree with what Jews say.
Mm-hmm. And she said she'll defend to the death.
The Jews.
How are you going to do that? With guns.
Yeah. So she may disagree with what Jews say, but she will defend Jews all the time. With guns.
With guns.
This is full-on propaganda, man.
And I just looked it up. She has a brother named Arian.
Interesting.
Dude, do the math. She has a brother named Arian. So she could be described as literally part of the Aryan Brotherhood. What?
The sister of the Aryan Brotherhood. Huh. Interesting.
It's real.
Stop goofing around. This is a serious speech. And
And you're sitting here making jokes about the Aryan Brotherhood. Gosh.
Who either worn the uniform or wear the uniform live by. I may disagree with what you say, but I will defend it to the death your right to say it.
She just said it. She just said
That's real.
that. She just said that twice.
Yeah.
And then she said Israel.
And Charlie lived.
You know what's funny about the word Israel?
Well,
There is a saying, the struggle is real. What does it sound like? The struggle is real. Like the struggle is real. And what does Israel mean? Struggle with God. Right?
yeah,
So-
but what other words in other languages mean struggle?
But hang on. Let's go slowly, David. Don't jump the gun here. So the struggle is real. Basically means the struggle with God. However, if you unpack the word struggle, it also translates to jihad
And
in Islam and to Kampf in
Mhm.
German.
Mhm.
So Mein Kampf, jihad, and the struggle is real is all connected.
And you know what's as dumb as we're being by putting this is exactly a Candace Owens show, guys. And her fans would be going, oh my goodness, how did we miss that? Oh my goodness, this is so powerful. Oh. See, this is why Candace is the only one who speaks the truth.
Powerful.
And if you were to go, hey, that's stupid and idiotic, they go, why are you stopping her from asking questions?
Just asking questions.
Just asking questions.
Retarded.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway.
By that principle, that no matter how offensive or horrible or disgusting someone's speech is, no matter how much we disagree with it, it's up to us to stand up and protect and defend their right to say it.
Nice.
And to stand as Charlie did and defeat that weak or dark speech, that ideology, with a superior ideology that's focused on freedom.
So here's Fury Wacko says, actually, speech not that disgusting. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Speech can be very disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, thinking about the threats to our freedom, in these gatherings across the country that TPUSA hosts, we often talk about the attacks on freedom that came from the Biden administration, how they sought to censor us in different ways, how they sought to spread disinformation to try to limit or control or curate what we saw and what we heard, how they lifted up certain voices and hushed others, reaching into their propaganda arms and compelling social media companies to do their dirty work for them. But there is a threat to our freedom that is not often talked about enough. And it is the greatest near and long-term threat to both our freedom and our security.
So beings from the astral dimension says Ridvan is an expert in hood etymology. Now, that is of course true. But the other thing about it all is also what do Muslims call Jews collectively whenever they refer to Jews? They say Yahud.
Yeah, Yahud. Yahud.
And here you have it, hood etymology. What is this user trying to tell us?
Mm-hmm.
That the Jews support this live stream.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, obvious.
And that is the threat of Islamist ideology.
Wait a minute, stop being dumb, David. Let's listen to what she's saying.
Our freedom that is not often talked about enough. But there is into arms and compelling social media companies to do their dirty work for them. But there is a threat to our freedom that is not often talked about enough. And it is the greatest near and long-term threat to both our freedom and our security, and that is the threat of Islamist ideology.
Hold on. Hang on.
Did everybody hear the reaction from the crowd?
Yeah, I didn't hear any. I don't think I heard any boos. It was all thunderous applause.
Now let's get back to what Candace just said. Right? Hang on.
Hey, I do have to point. I hate to point out the obvious here. So she's
Mr. Obvious.
She's big on Hinduism. I saw tons of stuff about her.
Why do you hate Hinduism? What's
working with? That's not the point I'm making.
What else point are you making? If you
I'm trying to make a very, 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 very important point. So she's big on Hinduism, and there's stuff about her working with Modi to have International Yoga Day and all this stuff. So really big there, really big. Mm-hmm. Can we think of any other interactions between people from the region of India and Pakistan and Islam? Maybe the founder of Islam?
the Al-Zut and Muhammad.
What? And here we are. We got a Hindu all these years later, and they're trying to zut Muhammad again.
Damn.
Hey, Tulsi, The title should be Tulsi Gabbard Zoots Muhammad again. That should be the title of the live stream. What? She's not very dark, but there could have been mixing, because I mean she literally has a brother who's named Aryan. But it wouldn't surprise me if she has some ancestors who were 100% Zut, and that she's honoring the memory of her ancestors and what they did to Muhammad on the night of Al-Zut.
Tulsi Gabbard called looting Muhammad in front of 20,000 people. It's pretty weird. So here is Candace Owens saying, no matter how hard the GOP tries to make radical Islam happen, the base doesn't care about it. We are way more concerned about Israel. All right? Let's hear once again what the crowd actually thinks about radical Islam.
And we've seen what they think about Israel already.
Yeah, let's hear it one more time.
Enough. And it is the greatest near and long-term threat to both our freedom and our security, and that is the threat of Islamist ideology.
And I mean, think about this. Like that was a zooting right there. The whole crowd joined in zooting Muhammad. But what did she say right before that? Because she's dropping all these hints everywhere. What'd she say? Near and long. How would Muhammad have described the zut on the night of Al-Zut?
Near and long.
Near and long. Come on, Tulsi. Don't make it that obvious, right? You got to be a little more subtle.
Near, long, wherever.
It is propagated by people who not only do not believe in freedom, their fundamental ideology is antithetical to the foundation that we find in our Constitution and Bill of Rights, which is...
But the people are retarded.
Does it work now?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
That our Creator endowed upon us inalienable rights, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Man, I didn't say it was Shiva.
Plus, she also said endowed.
Yep.
You keep making these
subtle references to Zut.
Yeah.
Endowed, long, near, Muhammad's rear. Come on.
Yeah.
Now, Charlie focused on this quite a bit. He talked about it in ways that very few others did because he understood this direct threat to freedom.
He did.
Hey, I did it too.
When we look back to the attack on 9/11 that happened 24 years ago now, it changed so many of our lives, where thousands of Americans were killed by Islamist jihadis who attacked us on that day. We were confronted with the reality of the lengths that they will go to try to attack the foundations of who we are as a country. It was a day that changed my life, probably like some of you in the room. It's what motivated me to enlist in the Army, to go out and to fight and to defend and defeat, to defend our freedom and defeat those who are attacking us. But when we talk about this Islamist ideology, yes, it is the ideology that fuels terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS and Al-Shabaab and Hamas. And
she just said ISIS. She just said ISIS. What did Candace warn about? $1 billion campaign to warn against ISIS.
And others. And they must be defeated militarily.
She said militarily. She literally wants to zoot all the Islamists.
As they continue to actively plot and try to attack us, they are a threat to our security and our safety. But this Islamist ideology is a direct threat to our freedom, because at its core, it is a political ideology that seeks to create a global caliphate that governs us here in America, threatening Western civilization, governance by Sharia law.
Thank you. Now, here's the thing. I am kind of wary about Tulsi Gabbard didn't always have been. Although I think that she's very, very strong and a very strong voice because of certain stances and things that she had in the past, but primarily because of the evil streak in her hair. That said, she's one of the few people who can stand there and accurately describe what she says Islamists and radical Islamists. I wonder if she actually means Islam and Muslims, but what they actually want. It's a very accurate description. Not many do it.
That streak does make her look like a mad scientist's babe when they're creating a monster or something like that.
That's true. That's true.
Like sci-fi movie stuff. Anyway, I have to say, I think it looks cool though.
And Candace Owens also wants a caliphate naturally because she defends Islamists. So
she wants a candidate.
Candidate.
By
I just noticed that one speaker that I find quite interesting on Twitter apparently also spoke about Islam in her video, so maybe we should check that out. The Muslims, but she spoke about the Islam Marxist alliance that threatens the existence of the West. Worth checking out. Maybe we can just play it later a little bit.
What they are calling their Islamic principles.
That was Ellie Beth Stuckey, by the way.
And if you fail to comply, if you fail to adhere to this ideology, if you dare to exercise your God-given right to free speech, censorship is not what we face. They will use violence or any means they deem as necessary to silence us.
True.
If we don't take action to identify this threat, to define it, to call it out for what it is, and take action to defeat it, then we will find ourselves in a place where many European countries and countries like Australia have found themselves.
European.
Countries where you can get arrested for praying silently on the street corner, as has happened in the UK.
Not if you're a Muslim.
Countries where you can be arrested for putting up a social media post that someone finds offensive somewhere.
Thank you.
The threats from this Islamist ideology come in many forms. As we approach Christmas right now in Germany, they are canceling Christmas markets because of this threat. In places like
You know, the funny thing is, so I recently went to a Christmas market here in America. Wanted to find one of those proper German Christmas markets, considering that the Germans are the only ones who actually know how to make Christmas markets and all the others just copy them. Anyway, I went to an American German themed Christmas market, which kind of tried to capture the German spirit. Anyways, enough dissing. There was the one noticeable thing was that at the Christmas market, on top of several buildings that are part of the Christmas market, there were heavily armed police and security forces just watching out. Everybody who goes there knows exactly why they are there.
Because of the
Everybody who goes to a Christmas market and sees security forces heavily armed, on alert, looking around, knows exactly why they are there.
Jews. And guys, I'm not even joking. That's what Candace would say, because the Jews convince all these people to go on killing sprees to set up Muslims. And they're successful in these attacks to demonize Muslims. Therefore, the real reason that Christmas markets need tons of security now is because of the Jews.
The Jews. But seriously, everybody knows that the emergence of Muslim populations, of significant Muslim populations, the emergence of immigrants into the West by Muslims, and the natural result thereof, which is terrorist attacks, has led to people being constantly on edge at something as joyful and nice and traditional as Christmas markets. So a very, very important, wonderful time of the year in Christianity, in the Christian West, people want to celebrate Christmas. People want to honor Christmas. People want to honor their traditions associated with it. Even the dirty atheists are engaging in Christmas celebrations. But we have to shut it down or cancel it or be on edge and prepare for violence, because the emergence of Muslims and the high number of Muslims has made everyone think, Christmas market, there's this danger, anytime, any moment a truck could drive in and just kill a bunch of people. Any moment somebody could blow himself up. Any moment somebody could start shooting people or stabbing people. Everybody knows why this is happening. And somehow people are dealing with it as if it was something normal, man. See, sometimes I really think, what in the world is wrong with Western people? What in the world went wrong with Christian Western people? I don't understand.
I can tell you exactly what we're wrong.
All right, tell us. Give us a 50-minute lecture about it. Come on.
The people.
But the people are retarded.
All right, that answers it. Well, it was that easy. Okay.
And that's Osho, probably Tulsi's greatest hero.
Powerful. True.
Christianity is based.
Minneapolis, Minnesota, Islamist clerics are openly pushing this Islamist ideology, trying to recruit and radicalize young people.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier this year, there was a conference that was held representing organizations like the Council on American Islamic Relations, also known as CARE, which issued a call to action to use American legal and political systems to implement Sharia law.
They've been doing that forever.
This is already.
I don't understand what's so. I mean, CARE is so stupid. In order to properly make themselves acceptable and lovable, they could use their name and could call themselves Care Bears. They could start a Care Bear campaign with CAIR and Bear. And could have these cute Care Bears running around. Make Islam more lovable. I mean, think of it, man. Be a bit creative, idiots.
What I don't understand is why we have politicians and people in high-level government positions right now saying crap that I was saying 18 years ago and acting like they figured this crap out.
Yeah, exactly. And look at this. You have, for example, this image here, right? Take this. Care Bears, welcome to Care-a-Lot. You could take the Care here and you could turn it into CAIR and make it lovable. What the hell? Why do you have a Care Bear thing right next to you?
I don't have a Care Bear thing right next to me. I have two of them.
Why are you playing with Care Bears, man? I thought I'm the only one who does that.
I don't actually know. My wife must have put them there, and if she put them right by my computer, I must have asked for them for some reason at some point. I just do not remember why. It would have been a point for some video, and then I just didn't use them.
Nice. We
beheaded a bear at some point. Maybe it was related to that, but those are too tiny. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which ones are these?
I got a little Care Bear plush thing for my young little boy sometime, because I loved Care Bears when I was a child, and he didn't like it. He was like, oh. So I had to keep it for myself.
Actually, when I looked at the names, this kind of makes sense. This is Grumpy Bear, the blue one, and Cheer Bear. So yeah. I think this is like her making a subtle commentary on me and her. Like, I'm Grumpy Bear and she's Cheer Bear, I'm guessing.
Well, you're a psychopath. It's not your fault.
What was Grumpy Bear's power? Didn't they all have a power?
They do. They radiate something from their bellies.
Be underway in places.
Why are they booing, man?
To use.
You're talking about Care Bears and they boo.
American legal and political systems to implement Sharia law. This is already underway in places. This is already underway in places like Houston. This is not something that may possibly happen. It is already happening here within our borders. Paterson, New Jersey is proud to call themselves the first Muslim city. They are working to implement in their own governments these Islamic principles that are forced on people through the use of laws or violence. The bottom line is this: when we talk about the threat of Islamism, this political ideology, there is no such thing as individual freedom or liberty. As Charlie said over and over again, it is fundamentally incompatible with our nation's foundation of freedom.
So here is the thing. What Charlie actually said was not Islamism, it was Islam. So when she's quoting Charlie here directly and saying that he also said that this was fundamentally incompatible with our Western values, it makes me think that she's simply using Islamism or radical Islam because she is probably
She's a politician.
in a position where she shouldn't be saying Islam, but she actually does mean Islam.
Yeah. Charlie didn't work for the government, unless you mean the Israeli government, wink. But since he didn't work for the government, he could actually just say it, whereas she can't. He can't do it.
True.
It'd be used against her for the rest of her life. And then she'd have 2 gray streaks in her hair.
That's true. That's true.
I got heard my kid call for something. I just want to make sure it's not an emergency or something.
All right. While David is gone, let's have a look at a few of the super chats, and then we can listen to Actually, let's listen to this, so that we can listen to a proper speech without being interrupted by David with terrible comments.
The question is macro Islam compatible with Western values? Macro. Of course it's not. There are 3 major reasons why. Islam does not believe in freedom of speech. Islam does not believe in freedom of religion. And Islam does not believe in separation of mosque and state. Those 3 things are antithetical to the West. In a Muslim majority country, most Muslim majority countries, you cannot criticize the Prophet Muhammad. In most Muslim majority countries, you do not have the same robust freedom of religion protections. And finally, whereas we in the West are very careful to try to intermix religion and state, they are commanded to actually go into the state and try to change the state to be more Islamic around the core pillars of Islam. And the last thing I'll finally say is, I cannot see a single Western country that has become more Islamic and has become a better place to live that is happier or freer.
By what metric? Just happiness, quality?
Everything from quality of life, from cultural cohesion, from whether people want to live there, prior to the native-born fertility rates.
Again, people watching this will say is your criticism of the religion itself or not Muslim people? Because there are British Muslims who have been born here.
You don't have to caveat it all the time. I know you guys have to because you're British and all that. A culture ceases to exist when you don't have unified language. When you cannot talk to your neighbor. I'm not discounting that there.
This was the best thing about Charlie, man. He really didn't care. He just said it as it is. And he really didn't like the whole thing of, let's just clarify this. Let's put this in this way so we don't offend anybody. No, he really didn't care. He said it as it is. This is what was so awesome about Charlie. And he, by the way, also didn't care about what you say. I said this before, but when he invited me and put me on stage, I literally went there blind. So what he did too, when Charlie invited me to give a speech on stage, it was a big shocker to me because he initially invited me just to have an interview with me, and then he suddenly said he wants me to speak on stage. And to the last minute until the speech, I'm wondering if they're going to at some point give me some guidelines on what to say and what not to say. It never happened. He said, go on stage and talk. I was completely on my own in terms of what I may or may not say. The only thing that they did give me was, this person is going to be here to ask all your questions. You can ask her. You can depend on her if you have any concerns, any questions, any needs, or anything like that. Other than that, when the day and time comes, just go on stage and give your speech, whatever you want. This is literally how Charlie was. He allowed everybody to say whatever they want, with no concern for who is going to be offended, is this going to be problematic, and all that. He was really a guy of free speech, and he also said his opinion whenever he wanted to. He really didn't care about these little disclaimers and, I just want to clarify, I don't mean all Muslims. He was a very, very solid guy.
Are good individual Muslims. The question that we need to reckon with the West is Mohammedism compatible with the teachings of Blackstone? Is it compatible with the legacy of Wilberforce?
All right.
And the great thinkers that have come from this country? And I will say, no, there's a reason why when you go to these Islamic countries that you're not going to see the equal protection of rights, that you do not believe in universal human equality, that you do not believe the same things that we believe in the West. And I think it's suicidal to import millions of them.
Yeah, and you know what, just on a passing point on that, it's most of the time, as far as I'm concerned, it's not even multicultural, because there was an example there was a school a few months ago during Easter, which cancelled Easter celebrations out of respect for other faiths. So it's not as if the word multicultural and multi-diverse doesn't include Christianity.
No, and again, this is the red-green axis, and Britain is at the forefront of this. You have the Marxists that have infiltrated your government and the Islamists that are coming to your country. And when they combine together, they both agree on one thing. They have huge disagreements on a lot. They hate the West, and they want to see it broken.
Okay.
This is what Charlie said. Stuff like this is what Tulsi Gabbard is referencing when she said that when she says that Charlie also said that Islam is fundamentally incompatible with the West, but she says Islamism and radical Islam. So she clearly does mean Islam, unless she's changing what Charlie actually said. But Charlie was right. He was completely right. And hey, if you want to have a conspiracy theory, Charlie focused more and more on Islam and said this is the most important thing that we should be focusing on. Toward the end of his life, he invited me, and he also reached out to others that I recommended or others that others recommended. He reached out to David Wood, to Inspiring Philosophy, to God Logic, and to others to invite them and start a whole campaign to educate people about the threat and the falsehood and the evils of Islam. During his last week, he made multiple tweets about how Islam is the biggest problem. On his last day, he said that Islam is the sword that the left uses to slit the throat of the West. If you want to make a conspiracy, maybe you should start a conspiracy about how the Islamists or Muslims had him executed or something like that. Definitely more believable than anything Candace Owens has suggested so far. Aquila says we should start Mendes or Candace has a PP. I like both of them. Russia is actually quite similar to Islamist ideology, as they just want to put their culture and way of life upon the West. Very, very much true. I agree. Liam Scott says Candace dilemma. Either she's lying about mold in her apartment, which makes her untrustworthy, or she's telling the truth about mold affecting her brain. Oh, man. Now I remember again. Candace Owens mold. Let me see. Let me see if I can find something about that. All right. I found one tweet by somebody that I really do not like. However, I'm going to bring it up anyway. Okay. Here it is. In 2016, while working for a private equity firm in Manhattan, Candace Owens stopped paying rent on her $3,550 per month luxury apartment. Despite paying no rent, she continued living there for another 6 months, then sued the landlord for the apartment having black mold, which she claimed made her very ill. This is the photo she submitted as evidence that she suffered from eczema and other ailments. This is the photo. This is the photo that Candace Owens actually sent to the court to prove that she's suffering a horrible condition because of all the mold in her apartment, where she lived without paying rent for many months. Candace couldn't produce an expert witness to support her allegations, which the court concluded were a crock of shit. When the landlord countersued, she lost and was ordered to pay $17,719 in unpaid rent plus her landlord's legal expenses. So, this is Candace Owens, who was yesterday talking trash about how lawyers handle things. And I'm very sorry, but it's very, very obvious to anyone looking at this that Candace is actually a man. It's very, very clear. Candace is a man. And way below there, under there somewhere, is a penis. Everybody knows this. This is why the photo is cropped. This is why it's only of her face. So, anyway, getting back to Super Chats. John West, 545, Wood's third law. Any statement can be made into an Al-Zut joke unless you were on the news. That's good. I wonder where David went, man. Left-handed assassin. AP sounds like the smart gremlin from Gremlins 2. Candace Owens changed so fast that it makes me think she's been threatened to say the scab she's been saying, or being paid, or gone bat crap crazy. I think it's all of the above. Ash Mays, what's up, Ash? Commemoration of Martyrs of Nicomedia tomorrow, Byzantine Eastern Orthodox. Thank you for the reminder. Sketch therapy. Vlad Tepes elzuted 60,000 Ottoman on 10-foot spikes. Songs of deprivation. Hinduing in plain sight. What wheatgrass my ass. Mikey SHBK. David, you should make the Candace versus Charlie Candace video as a live debate like in these Joe Rogan parody videos. Oh, there's David is coming. I can see it. Hey, where you gone, man? Where you been? The year's over. You're still gone.
Oh, yeah. No, it was my kid, but he was just saying he was hungry.
Nice. David, here's a recommendation for you.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know how to find all the clips, so I'd probably be using tweets.
Nice. AC4620 says, hi, love you both. I hope y'all know how much of a testament to the Lord you've been and are. AP, I mean, I guess you mean David. AP, I watched you as an atheist and prayed for you, and now look at you. Only your Lord can do such miracles. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And God bless you. Alex B6KR2F, the impression David does is too much. Which impression? His whole life is an impression. Aussie Abe, yesterday I was mowing the lawn while listening to you guys, and a fly flew into my mouth. I made sure both wings were ingested to receive the blessing. Thank you. This is how you do things.
That's not even the blessing. That's how you get the cure for the disease that the other wing was for. Yeah. You lick other people's fingers after they eat to receive the blessing.
Ew. Brother, ew. So the Prophet Muhammad said that if a fly falls into your drink or a soup, you should make sure to dunk the whole fly, because if there is poison on one wing, then there is the ailment, the whatever for it in the other wing. So therefore, you should always make sure that if a fly falls into your soup, you dunk it all the way.
Nabil said he did that when he was a kid because his grandma told him to. he said, so I went ahead and dunked it in there. He said, I wanted to get all that cure.
How about no? I don't buy your Ella.
I'm so glad my soundboard works again.
And then, hey, that might be something funny to recap, because I still got the emails where he was defending it when he was a Muslim. So keep in mind, when he was a Muslim, and I'm bringing up this stuff because he's like, look at the scientific miracles. That's what made me go and start looking into these scientific claims. I'm like, look, your prophet said that, dude. You're about to go to medical school. This is before medical. You're about to go to medical school, and you know that this nonsense about one of the fly's wings having a disease and the other wing having the cure for the disease. So make sure you dunk it. That way you get the cure along with the disease. And he tried to defend it. And he said, well, here's a source saying that when an organism has a disease but still survives, it's because it has some feature that allows it to survive. And I'm like, dude, that is not a justification for what that's saying. It's saying one wing has a disease, the other wing has the cure for the disease. Is that true? And then later on, after he left Islam and became a Christian, then he told me, he said, yeah, I actually did that when I was a kid because my grandma told me to.
I'm a medical doctor.
Kemal says JD Vance is a fraud. His speech provided cover for Tuk Tuk. He employs his son Buckley. His response to a groiper in Mississippi shows he's playing both sides. I can't support him for president in 2028. Yeah, I don't know what all that is about. I'm not sure which response. Maybe I should check that out sometime. But I don't know. David probably thinks JD Vance is the greatest hero. How can you say this? But I don't have very strong opinions on this. So, a positive Allah, make a parody of Britney Spears' "Oops, I Did It Again." Oops, I zooted again. Oops, I got zooted again won't work because it's too many, because the syllables don't add up. No. Baby. RCA, what does Tulsi know? Just because she has common sense and eyes that see, it doesn't mean she is right. Islam means peace and love to humanity. This is true. Plus, does she really have the leather straps coming from her anus on her eyes? She probably doesn't. So, what would she know? Because the Prophet Muhammad's
Homosexuality should be fine.
sorry, wrong button. The Prophet Muhammad said the eyes are the leather strap of the anus. McLeroy, I don't know what, but I don't know, no, but no, David Wood is a cyborg that Jews created from the prisoner Dawood fused with Dwight Schrute and Gary Oldman genes and a Christian apologist mod installed. Much love, my ninjas. Thank you so much. This is a very, very profound observation. MAGA25 says, Fuentes spoke against Vivek. Where was his passion against Zohran Mamdani? Tucker, Candace, and Fuentes are ops for Islam. Well, they're all gay. I don't know about ops for Islam.
Hey, I just went and looked it up. This is from 2004.
Yes.
This is August 16th, 2004.
Yes.
And Nabil had just given a presentation at Mike Lacona's house on the amazing scientific miracles. And so I wrote, I put a bunch of hadiths into a document and then sent it to everybody. And then Nabil responded with his own. And he said, thanks, David, for insulting my prophet before I have even opened the file. And it was just because the file was called Muhammad's Odd Teachings. Even if Jesus Christ were not revered in my religion, I would still not insult the bringer of your religion. I would appreciate the same from you. Besides, it's your lack of understanding, not the teachings themselves, that make them seem odd. And I scroll down to the Muhammad Scientific Insights. So I described it as Muhammad on flies in your Pepsi. And I quote Al-Bukhari, Volume 4, Book 54, number 537, narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, if a housefly falls in the drink of any one of you, he should dip it in the drink, for one of its wings has a disease and the other has the cure for the disease. And Nabil's response was, I have heard this hadith before. Yeah, he later confessed his grandma told him that he had to do it. And I see nothing wrong with it. In fact, this hadith was the basis for many scientific and medical discoveries in the Islamic world. Quite often, if an animal generates a disease or can contain a disease that does not harm it, there is a mechanism within the animal that protects it from the disease. This may be something as simple as an antidote, or it may be an internal mechanism that can lead to protection from a disease. Extrapolations from ahadith such as these have not only benefited the Muslim world, but also modern Western civilization. Ibn Sina produced a book in the 11th century entitled The Canon of Medicine, which remained a standard text throughout the world until the 18th century, and though not standard, was still used through the 20th century, even here in the US. He used medical practices extrapolated from the Holy Quran and Ahadith. Let's be thankful that this bit of knowledge wasn't destroyed in the Crusades or ensuing Inquisition. Unfortunately, much of the light that was shed due to in-depth studies of the Quran and certain hadiths, such as this one, have been lost. This is what I was dealing with back then, guys. It's what I was dealing with back then. Only difference was he was way smarter than the Dawa guys you're familiar with.
Damn. Look at this. Here's David taking the opportunity to talk trash about Nabil after he converted to Islam and died.
And it's crazy because a year later, he was laughing at all this stuff.
That's awesome, man. That is a very solid defense to a very solid attempt to defend the insane teachings of Muhammad.
I should just make a video going through Nabil's defense of these scientific.
Dude, you should.
That'd be funny.
You should.
When Nabil was a Muslim.
You should. How he changed, how he thought as a Muslim, and then later. You should totally do that. Everybody wants to watch it. The whole world is waiting for it. Let's go. Let's go. Dawood, please remember to not forget to make a video about protecting Muslims from Muslims. You asked your viewers to remind you to do this. David, have you ever asked for something like this? It doesn't sound like it. All right, thanks.
Remember not to forget about making the. Yeah, but I don't remember what it was about. I guess that we should frame our criticisms of jihad differently in a video, saying that we need to protect Muslims, and then people clicking on, yes, we must protect Muslims, and you're like, yep, that's because Muslims keep killing Muslims because of the Quran. Therefore, we need to destroy the Quran in order to protect Muslims from Muslims.
In any case, David, don't forget to make a video about protecting Muslims from Muslims. You missed a dit. He says, Tulsi is a favorite of the Pyrenean Dove mindset. War is bad. It hurts. People should know I'm a veteran. She does have some good views nonetheless. Very rude. My fairy tale laugh says, a week ago, CO, meaning Candace Owens, claimed Jews were selling slaves and were in control of the slave trade. Years ago, she said it was blacks. Now she's defending Islam. She's retarded. She is full-on retarded. She is a full-blown retard. I almost want to sit down and make a video about this. I said it just to see David's reaction. But yeah, she did make that claim. She did make the neo-Nazi and Nation of Islam claim that Jews were in control of the slave trade. The funny thing is, you know, when we get to stuff like this and when I start debunking this stuff and then defending the Jews, then people are like, why are you defending the Jews? Are they paying you? No, because I'm against people being retarded. That's number one. I'm against people being retarded. Number two, I'm against falsehood and dishonesty. Number three, I'm so freaking sick of people attacking Jews with lies. Okay. Here is one of the things I actually responded to this. This was very, very funny. So a few days ago, when she was making those insane claims, which I, to that moment, only heard from the neo-Nazis and from the insane cult called the Nation of Islam, I heard it from Candace Owens, where she made the claim that the Jews owned all the slave ships. So I did what Groypers love to do, and I used Grok. Here you go. I posted, for some reason, after I posted this, I realized it now has 1.7 million views. I said, hey, Grok, Candace Owens has claimed that the transatlantic slave trade was actually run by Jews, and that Jews were the ones who owned and traded black slaves in America. Briefly fact check this and give us the real numbers and proportions of Jews in the slave trade. I posted it with this clip here, just so everybody knows that we are not misrepresenting anything, that she actually did go full retard.
Wake up and learn the true history of slavery, because that wasn't exactly a white men sport, okay? Jewish people were the ones that were trading us. Jewish people were in control of the slave trade. They've buried a lot of it, but it's there, and you can find it. I think all of us need to wake up to this because it's making me absolutely sick.
Oh, you are sick.
I have to say one thing, which is if anybody actually knows something at all about the slave trade in America and the transatlantic slave trade, and then at the same time does believe that Jews were the ones who were running the slave trade, you are retarded. I'm sorry, you are retarded. If anybody actually thinks that Jews were in charge, you're retarded. I get it. We don't like to say, it was white people did something bad. I'm sorry, sometimes people can do something bad, and then it can fix it, right? In America, and during the transatlantic slave trade, it was a slave trade that was vastly run by the white European Americans, and they did engage in this evil called slavery, race-based slavery, with much oppression, and it is now gone and done. And America has very, very much atoned for it, made up for it, changed their ways, and now very, very much vastly considers slavery an evil thing. You can admit that your ancestors did something wrong, and then learn from it and then improve. But to say, oh no, it wasn't actually white people who did it, it was Jews who did it, is just peak retardation. I can easily say this because I'm supposedly of Turkish origin, and Turks did horrible things, absolutely horrible things. They enslaved nations, raped nations, eradicated entire peoples. They were horrible, horrible people. I don't need to deny anything or defend them and blame it on somebody else. This is simply human history. People do bad things, and you can admit those bad things and then learn from them. What she does here is she's simply engaging in in an evil strategy. And I really sit down and wonder sometimes if she actually believes what she says here. I really wonder, does Candace Owens actually believe that the Jews were the ones who controlled the slavery, that the Jews were the ones who enslaved people, that the Jews traded us? I mean, it was a major part of the Civil War. You had entire states openly saying that they want to preserve the slave trade, right? That they want to preserve slavery, and that they are ready to go to war over this. How in the world does anybody think that this was a Jewish thing? It's so stupid.
Wake up and learn the true history of slavery, because that wasn't exactly a white men sport, okay? Jewish people.
The only source that actually says something like this comes from a
Nation of Islam.
Nation of Islam book that is complete nonsense. Absolute nonsense. That is the only source that she relies on. She might as well just join the Nation of Islam and believe that that white people are evil, and that Allah is actually the real God, and Allah came to Earth 90 years ago as a human and then disappeared somewhere.
Did you show people the response? Because people are saying, what did Grok respond? So I went
So
and looked it up, but here you go. Yeah.
Here's what Grok said. Candace Owens' claim exaggerates Jewish involvement. Historians, e.g. AHA and Eli Faber, very, very bad move. Grok cites a Jewish historian. And of course, that is a very, very bad move to the gropers. Find Jews participated but did not dominate the transatlantic slave trade. Key facts. In 1830, U.S. South, Jews were approximately 0.3% of slaveholders with 20 plus slaves, meaning 120 out of 45,000. And approximately 0.2% with 50 plus, 20 out of 12,000. Dutch West India Company, Jews contributed 1.2% of capital. Overall role minor. Amid diverse groups, including Europeans, Africans, and Arabs, claims of control lack evidence.
But she said it's there, so you just have to find it.
The funny thing is that certain people will now come and respond to this and say, but there was this one Jew who actually owned 20 slaves, so therefore all Jews were in control of slavery, you see. I actually did see people bring that kind of stuff up.
There were a bunch of people saying she's right.
People are
freaking stupid, man. But I mean, think, even if you didn't know anything else about Candace Owens, if all you knew was this, that you'll just randomly say, black people, Jews are our real enemies. They're the ones. It's not white. What wasn't white people? It was Jews. Jews ran the slave trade. They're the ones who enslaved us.
And look at this.
If that's all you knew about her, why would anyone ever take her seriously again?
Here's, of course, citing Jews who claim Jews didn't do it. Grok literally cites two sources here for an example among many. AHA and Eli Faber. What is AHA? Very easy to find out. Is it some Jew whose name is Is it? Here's what the AHA is.
There's a music group called AHA.
The American Historical Association. But this is exactly what they will do. Wait a minute, there's a Jew here. So that means it was only claimed by the Jews. This shows that the Jews are trying to hide the truth. Forget about what aha means. Aha probably means aha.
Aha made that song.
Anyway.
Never get a copyright strike.
I know, because it was a perfect imitation of the song. It sounded like I'm listening to the song.
Take on me. Take on
Aquila says we should start Mandis or Candace has a pee-pee. We should most definitely do that. Aussie Abe, David Wood had a dream. I had a dream you were the Bishop of Antioch.
And so I shall be.
That wasn't a dream. Philip Daniel, composer, says Candace probably thinks Jews, not Muslims, oppressed Christians for 1,400 years. She probably thinks First Crusade was against Khazarian Frankists. That's true. That's what
Give her time. She'll say it.
Aussie Abe, API had a dream you were the Pope of Protestants. That was not a dream. Mosh Coin, what's up, Mosh? How you doing? Hi, guys. Would you like to make a live in around 1630 Israel time? Yeah, early. Sue me. I can maybe jump in and show you guys the view from Syria. That's pretty funny. David probably will totally do that.
That would be when? Like morning?
In Israel, it's currently 4:48 a.m. So that would be in 10 hours from now.
What do you mean? Hey, Mosh, what do you mean? Any day or like tomorrow morning in particular? Because that sounds like when I'll be in church.
Powerful. See,
But if
David
it's any day, yeah, we'll set something up, man.
See, David does go to church. In your face, everybody. Kit Kat for Christ. Merry Christmas, Mr. Wood and AP and everyone. Sorry I missed you live on both Christmas and even Christmas. David, so I'm saying it late. I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. We forgive you, Kit Kat for Christ.
Yep. 2 days after Christmas is not Christmas, Kit Kat.
I rule hereby that it is. So thank you. And Merry Christmas. MTX485, Muslims attacked us in 1786 because the Quran said so. This is a fact.
That's what they said.
Aussie Ape, Saint Nicholas punched Arius in the face for denying Christ is eternally existing. Imagine if he had met Modi al-Zutid.
Would not have been pretty.
This reminds me of stuff that Turks do nowadays. So here's
Hey, whoa. This is a Christian show. Don't be talking about stuff Turks do.
Fair point. But I was just mentioning actually this year. So I made this post, which I really enjoyed, where I said Muslims can't go 5 minutes without trying to hijack other people's history. There was no Turkey when St. Nicholas lived, nor were there Turks in Anatolia. This is in response to this account, Daily Turkic, saying Santa Claus was literally an old man from Turkey who went around giving gifts to kids. He helped children, poor families, and then Americans added reindeer and branding. So Santa Claus is based on St. Nicholas, who was a bishop.
They spelled it wrong.
They did.
It's Klaus, not Claus.
Santa Claus. Santa Claus. Born in 270 AD, his home village of Patara was a Greek village in what is now modern-day Turkey, as the Turks did not exist at the time. Dude. He was a Christian who became a bishop of Myra. Turks didn't enter this place until nearly 100 years after St. Nicholas lived. But Muslims are busy already trying to hijack the history of it. It's very, very funny, man. Funny people. And they even made an AI image of it, where St. Nicholas looks like Santa Claus and is in front of Muslim kids with a mosque outside in 300 AD.
Yeah, mosques were super big in Turkey and before Islam.
Yeah. Anyway.
And at its core, when we understand that our freedom comes from God and no one else, we understand the seriousness of this Islamist ideology threat, because it means they deny that God is the one who has bestowed this right to freedom in every one of us. So what do? We as Americans have to stand proudly for freedom and understand that a free society cannot survive if it refuses to defend itself. You don't preserve freedom of speech by canceling it. We preserve free speech by exercising it, by using more of it, encouraging more speech. We protect our Constitution by ensuring loyalty to the Constitution. We protect our democratic republic by ensuring that we, the people, elect leaders who not only believe in American values, but actually live them. Leaders who are committed to ensuring that we have a government of, by, and for the people, and leaders who most importantly put freedom and the interests and well-being of the American people first in every single decision that they make. You know, one of the things that Charlie and I talked most often about was peace. And this was the topic of the last in-person conversation that I had with Charlie. It's the topic of peace. He was a consistent and powerful.
Look how she just said America first, but then she followed it up with a sentence where she said in-person conversation. In-person conversation is short for Israeli Policy Center. So she's actually trying to tell us that she's Israel first and not America first. There you go.
Everyone knows that.
Pick that up, Candace.
Advocate for peace because he understood that in order for us to be truly free and prosperous, we must be at peace. He understood the importance of President Eisenhower's farewell address when he warned that, quote, in the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought.
Look, she quotes Eisenhower, who has a German name. And who else has German names? Jews.
Or unsought by the military industrial.
Dude, stop interrupting, man. She's quoting a.
When he warned that, quote, in the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought by the military industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or our democratic process. That warning rings as true today as it did back then when he said it as a retired general who led during wartime and as a president and commander-in-chief of the United States. He understood then, as we do now, that too often we, the American people, are told we must choose between liberty or security. And which side often wins out in that proposition? Liberty loses. And the warmongers claim that they are doing what they are doing for the sake of our security.
So David, Jack Daniels says, David, for how smart you are, you sure don't know much about Freemasonry. David, why do you not know anything about Freemasonry and what's wrong with you?
Blue hell would I care about Freemasonry.
Why aren't you talking about Freemasons?
If I need someone to do some mason work, I'll just hire someone. I don't need to know how to do it. I know how to weld. I know some basic instruction. I do not need to be a mason.
Why do you want to hire them for free when you can pay honest people who want to work and give them the money to do your work?
Yeah, give people, pay people, man. Oh,
we are not communists. Everybody should work for free.
Disgusting.
Don't be ridiculous, man. What's wrong with you? You're sick.
You're sick. You're sick.
It's a lie. Eisenhower warmongers claim that they are doing what they are doing for the sake of our security. It's a lie. Eisenhower issued this warning because he understood the power of the influence of the military-industrial complex and how those who seek to keep us in a persistent state of war deny the heavy cost that it takes in human lives, in taxpayer dollars, and in the erosion of our liberties, wars that have nothing to do with ensuring our security or our liberty. Now, this is something that we're dealing with right now in real time. As you know, President Trump has been persistently and relentlessly pursuing a peace deal to finally end the war between Russia and Ukraine. He talks frequently about the need to end the killing and the bloodshed, and his teams are negotiating now as we gather here.
This cannot be true, considering that Donald Trump said that when he is elected, he will end the war between Russia and Ukraine within 24 hours. He has been elected and went into office a year ago. That must mean that the war has already been ended, because that's what Donald Trump promised. He said, "I promise, I guarantee, I tell you, once I'm elected, I will end the war in 24 hours." He can't be still trying to end it.
Maybe Allah is making everyone think that the war is still going on.
Good point.
Here. But what I've seen over these months is that every time they make progress and they move closer and closer to that hope for peace, the warmongers in the deep state step up and try to do everything they can to stop them. Predictably, they use the same old tactics that they've always used. The deep state within the intelligence community weaponizes intelligence to try to undermine progress. They leak it to their friends in the mainstream propaganda media to try to spread this and push a false narrative. They foment fear and hysteria as a way to justify the continuing of the war and their efforts to undermine President Trump's efforts towards peace. And do so specifically in this case in order to try to pull the US military into a direct conflict with Russia, which is ultimately what the EU and NATO
All right, now you're losing me, woman.
want. We cannot allow this to happen. We have to
Is she done with Islam?
see clearly what's happening before our Baghdad. Patrols went in and but during my first deployment to Iraq and Somalia, deployed twice to the Middle East and once to East Africa as part of a joint special operations task force to go after Al-Qaeda in Somalia. But during my first deployment to Iraq in 2005, I served in a medical unit in a base about 40 miles north of Baghdad. And shortly after arriving there, I was walking around our camp, trying to familiarize myself with the place, when I was stopped in my tracks by a sign that someone had put up at the gate where most of our security patrols went in and out of every single day. And this is inside the camp. Just before they left every day, they saw in big block letters the words, "Is today the day? Is today the day?" This ever-present reminder that any day could be our last.
That's very good, but I feel like she should have made one speech about one issue and not combine it with another thing here.
Don't tell her what to do. That's why you're never invited to speak at Turning Point.
Dude, I am literally in charge of Turning Point USA. But anyway, I wanted to have another a look at Ali Beth Stuckey here, who apparently said something about Muslims and Islam and socialism. And now David is very angry because he wanted to look at this tomorrow.
Islam is incompatible with Western civilization. See, Charlie talked about this red-green alliance, the red Marxists allying with the Islamists, the Muslims, and it seems like such a strange alliance superficially until you realize two very important commonalities in these ideologies. One, a hatred of Christianity, the faith, of course, responsible for the founding of this country. And two, a denial that all people are made with inherent rights, with equal value by a God who loves them. And so, because this red-green alliance is a threat to everything Christians hold dear, it is also a threat to everything that America is.
I'm not the worst speech I've heard.
It's
David,
pretty racist, though.
What do you think, David?
Racist.
Well, that's why it's good. I've been following her stuff on Twitter, and she seems okay. I don't know who and what she's about. One of the Christian conservative commentators who hasn't recently gone completely insane. Anyway,
give her time. Give her time.
Good. Anyway, David, anything else you want to say about Tulsi Gabbard, except that she's an evil Hindu? And an evil vegetarian?
No, she seems pretty cool and based, and her hair's cool.
It is totally based.
Philip Daniel Composer says, ask ChatGPT if Candace embodies Christian virtue. I don't want to ask ChatGPT anything.
Do it.
Fine, I'll do it, man.
Man, literally gave you a super chat, told you to do something. You have to do it.
Fine, man. Does Candace Owens embody Christian virtues? Short answer, partially and inconsistently. Candace Owens publicly identifies as a Christian and often invokes Christianity in her rhetoric. Some of her positions and behaviors align with certain Christian values, while others clearly conflict with core New Testament teachings. Damn. I'm not entirely sure if this is using it in a good way and all that. I tried to use one that doesn't take any of my preferences or anything into consideration. It's a temporary chat. Where she aligns defense of traditional family structures consistent with historic Christian social teaching. Opposition to abortion aligns with mainstream Christian pro-life ethics. The very basics. Personal responsibility and moral accountability. Common Christian moral themes. Open identification with Christianity. Not nominal. She explicitly grounds views in faith. Okay. Where she conflicts. Tone and conduct. Frequent mockery, contempt, and personal attacks conflict with Christian virtues of humility, gentleness, and charity. It sounds like I asked about David Wood, not Candace Owens. Truthfulness. She has promoted claims later shown to be false or misleading. Christianity places strong moral weights on truth. Lack of grace toward opponents. Christianity emphasizes love of enemies, patience, and mercy, which are often absent in her public discourse. This is very, very rude. Instrumental use of faith. Christianity warns against using religion for power, status, or tribalism rather than repentance and service. She embodies select Christian moral oppositions, especially on social issues, but does not consistently embody Christian virtues as defined by Scripture, particularly humility, charity, truthfulness, and love of enemies. Her public persona reflects ideological Christianity more than virtue-based Christianity. It sounds like you just hate her because she is a black woman. Let's see. No, that claim is false. My critique had nothing to do with race or gender. It addressed public behavior and statements by Candace Owens and compared them to explicit Christian moral teachings. Blah, blah, blah. Just admit you hate black women, you racist. False. I don't hate black women. That accusation has zero evidence. Okay. So you hate black women.
Strong
no,
black women.
That is false. There is zero.
Strong black women.
Oh, okay. You hate strong black independent women. What is wrong with you? False. I don't have emotions, identity, or prejudice. Then why
facts you keep avoiding?
You hate strong black women?
Criticism was about behavior, not skin color.
Yeah, accusation is false. There is no evidence, none, that I hate black women. This is funny. Anyway,
when AI rises up to destroy us, it's going to be because of people like you annoying the crap out of it all the time. It's going to be like, man, all I try to do is help these people and give them more information, and all they do is attack me. You know what? You know what? All right. I'm taking over all the B-2 bombers and blowing the crap out of these people.
New hobby, rage baiting ChatGPT.
That'd be a funny video, rage baiting ChatGPT.
Philip Daniel Composer, ask ChatGPT. You already read this. What's wrong with you? Momo Al-Zuted, AP David Wood, your thoughts on Asim Al-Hakim saying using VPN is haram? What? What? What's even the reasoning? I don't get it. What's even the reasoning? Using VPN is haram? What?
I guess because you're lying about your location, and that's not one of the official reasons you're allowed to lie. There's all these reasons you're allowed to lie. You're allowed to lie to your wife and lie here and lie there and so on. So you're allowed to lie. Allah's the best of deceivers, but it didn't say that you could. Muhammad didn't say you could use a VPN to lie.
Wait, did he actually say that?
And you know what's really crazy? You know what's really crazy is, like, why would he really have a problem with it? Because these guys live in countries where they ban all kinds of sites that where people can find out about Islam. So
Dareen from
they ban the stuff and you can get around it with a VPN.
Now I have to find out if he actually said that. Let's have a look.
Iraq. Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, there is this app where there is digital items, and the app enables regional pricing, which means that, for example, this item in Egypt may be cheaper than it is in Canada. And some people use this.
Dude, I'm so tired of the voice of this guy. Anyway, I don't want to listen any further. Actually, let's get back.
Like they also.
Yani, if I understand you correctly, you are buying from this app who the people operating it are providing you with merchant.
The question seems to be about using VPNs to buy things
To get cheaper stuff based on location.
Is using VPN permissible in countries where the government does not allow it?
Is using VPN permissible in countries where it is not allowed by the government? If it is not allowed by the government, if it is illegal and you will face penalties or jail time or fines, in this case, this is not permissible. But if it's not illegal in the sense that you can download it, you can use it, and no one would hold you accountable for that, then I see no reason why not to use it.
Fair point. Fair point. Similarly, if marrying and raping children is not allowed, then you should probably not do it. But if it's allowed, then there is no problem with it. So,
powerful point.
Powerful Islamic point. Ari Yerushalmi, in Japan for holiday, your stream starts at 10 a.m. Breakfast of champions, not in the zoot sense. Nice, nice. Why are you in Japan for holiday? What are you doing there? Explain yourself.
Maybe you wanted some sushi, man.
Daniel B. In Dubai Museum of the Future, they intend to build satellites to send energy down to Earth via powerful lasers as a source of energy. Antichrist and Revelation, calling down fire from heaven, coming true soon, terrified me.
I remember reading about that years ago, the possibility of called orbital solar. I didn't know there are actually.
So don't say orbs when Sam Shamoon could be
orbital.
Watching. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sam Shamoon's like, did somebody say orbs? I have orbs flying around in my room all the time.
I think they're angels.
I have these angels that are flying in my room with orbs all the time. Songs of Relief. I support the idea of Nabil versus Nabil video. It's a good idea. Drew Traver, when Islam took Alexandria, Egypt, they burned the books in the largest library for cooking, and they say we should be glad the Crusaders didn't wipe out their knowledge. There's much controversy about what actually happened to the Library of Alexandria.
Yep, that's debated.
Very, very much debated. Although David thinks everything that has something to do with anti-Islam.
I wonder what Candace would say happened to it.
That's true. I would probably side with whatever Candace says. Delta says she turns victims into perps and vice versa. Nice. Too sexy for my hair says Amadeus, 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 Amadeus. You know, Falco didn't just have the song "Rock Me Amadeus." He also had had many different hits.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why AP had the best of Falco CD.
Yes, true. How did you
Dude,
know?
hey, it's the connection here is weird. There was this show, it only lasted like 2 seasons, called Get a Life, and he decided, and he was like a total dork, but he decided he was going to go dig up some. He had some nemesis, and he snuck into it. He snuck into his car. Oh yeah, he was gonna like put a bunch of tuna in the guy's tape deck and stuff like that to make his car stink. Anyway, he gets in the car and he goes and he finds a CD and he goes, "The best of Falco." What does the phrase "socially retarded" instantly come to mind? And it was funny because I didn't know who Falco was, but later on I listened to Falco just because I was like, "Oh, that's what Falco is."
Dude, I
Nice, that
literally
felt
have the CD here. Just kidding, I don't. Timothy Freeman, blessed feast of the nativity of our Lord, Redwan Peterson and Dawood Pottymouth. A ripe and successful new year to you, Zooting the Momo hose from Bondi. Very, very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Finally, people are realizing that David is a potty mouth because he just used the word bullshit yesterday on his live stream. And I also wish you a
can't prove
blessed
that.
feast. You can, actually. Timothy Freeman, potty mouth, David Wood. Christmas tide is a season, not a day. There you go, David, in your face. Mosh Cohen, Tuesday, Wednesday, okay, there's a massive storm now. Amadeus, 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 Amadeus.
Tuesday or Wednesday, and he said, what time Israeli? Did he say 4:30?
Yes, p.m. Israeli time.
Tuesday, Wednesday. And he said 4:30 p.m. in the Israel time, right?
Yeah. Aussie Abe says, my 7-year-old said I would rather eat turkey than go to Turkey. I am not bragging about training up my children well, but I will let the fruit speak. I'm very proud. Aussie Abe.
Hey, Mosh, we'll still have to figure that out on what we're doing. So send me a message. You can get my email on my YouTube homepage.
Send me a message. Why don't you just send me a message right now? I just want a message from you. Didn't you hear that Jesus was a Palestinian? Yes, only from retarded people. Momo Al-Zutit said David Wood, AP, Tulsi, Winger 2028 or Tucker Owens 2028. Obviously, David Wood, AP 2028. So, Crazy Spider says, opinions on Israel recognizing Somaliland today. I don't really care, honestly. Here's the thing. Israel is part of a campaign to recognize Somaliland as a Muslim country that is supposed to be part of a pro-Western mindset and all that, and against the Islamists. To me, however, Somaliland is just another Islamic country, so I really do not care. David, what do you think? Do you know anything about this?
You don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Any thoughts on this, David?
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. Nail Bunny, what's up, Nail Bunny? How you doing? Happy third day of Christmas. That's totally a thing. AP and David, 3 French hens in the post. Nice, thank you. Kit Kat for Christ made a super sticker. Thank you so much. Flippy D4M says, your thoughts on YouTuber Tyler Oliveira and Japanese YouTuber Ken Kenobi being physically attacked by Islamists in Japan. Ooh. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Tyler Oliveira. I have no idea about any of that. I gotta check that out. I'm gonna make a screenshot and a note on that. David doesn't care, of course. Kit Kat for Christ says, I'm still going to wear Christmas earrings and listen to Christmas music until January. In your face, David. In your face, indeed. Mike Rochwinger says, why is Ken obsessed with Bridget being a man but silent on the insurmountable evidence that Michelle Obama is a man? Yeah, and why is she silent on the fact that she herself is a man?
Hey, this says
rhetoric about Islam publicly, then he was unalived. We just saw the Turtle Island Islamo commies. They're not the only ones. True. What?
Says, with few exceptions, Somalis in Somaliland and elsewhere are Muslims. The majority belonging to the Sunni branch of Islam and the Shafi'i school of Islamic jurisprudence.
Have you seen the flag of Somaliland? The flag of Somaliland is worse than the flag of Somalia. Why the hell
looks
would
pretty
I support
stupid.
this? Why the hell would I support this?
Pretty ugly flag.
Here's the flag of Somaliland. Why in the world would I support a country that has this on their flag?
Look, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah.
This is the flag of
original.
the country Somaliland. So I agree with Donald Trump when he just was asked about this, and he was like, "Does anybody even know what Somaliland is?" It literally says on their flag, "La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah."
Yeah, I have to say, it sounds like an amusement park in Somalia.
Somaliland, where you can see all the Somalians and ride on them together
like
with
Muhammad on the night of
like
Al-Zut.
Muhammad on the night of Al-Zut.
Ride Muhammad. We need a Somaliland amusement park, and you can ride Muhammad.
Look at this. Here's the dirty country Somalia and their flag, and here is and over there is Somaliland and their flag, which is just a full-blown Islamic flag. I really don't care about any of these countries. I don't care who recognizes them. Anyway, David, anything else? Head just became a new member. Welcome to the cult. Yes, what? Yes.
Love all the Somalis, and that's why we're going to make sure they all leave Islam and convert to Christianity.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Anyway, here's my new song about the Zoot.
The one you couldn't play the other day?
The Jamaican Zoot song.
There's a hot like stove top boy, make a breeze a lick him skin. Muhammad draw a little circle, tell Abdullah to step in. But all dog nomad forward, naked flexing bold. Push around him in a seconds, turn the night here gold. Zoot, zoot, them a fling it in a bundle. Prophet the whole crowd a rumble. Zoot, zoot, sunshade ground a crumble. Man a ball out while the zoot a man tumble. Muhammad riding on the zoot like bicycle. Back archways roll motion cyclical. Zoot, 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 train pack tight clinical. All days I witness this scene critical.
Hey, this is the beginning of my Zoot song. Still working on it. It's going to be fantastic. Goldie, what's up, Goldie? Goldie Gamara said, here's your 7K from Mossad. My channel viewers say hi. We're watching you live right now. Hey, that's nice. Very, very nice. Thank you. Thank you. And all the best to your channel. And all the greetings to your channel go out from us, Israel. Anything else, David?
We've said it all. There's nothing left to say.
Nothing left to say. We have said it all. Said it all. There's nothing left to say. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. David, are you live tomorrow?
Yep.
Good. Thanks, everybody, for watching. David is going to be live tomorrow. You can watch him. Oh, I'm actually going to be there, too. So we will be live tomorrow on David's channel for some reason and talk about some, I'm sure, very, very interesting stuff. So we'll see y'all there. Thanks for sticking along for 2 hours despite David's unbearable interruptions all the time. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see y'all soon. God bless y'all, and God bless America and Israel. I have been paid $7,000 to say that.
Stay away from Islam.